Hey, good morning. Yes, it is. Up and Adam Sunshine. Today is Monday, August 11th. That's right. We're almost halfway through this month. So, what are we going to talk about today? Well, I thought what we talk about today is the biggest thing that almost all of us, whether we're an employee or an employer, is stress and how to deal with stress and how to make it work to your benefit, if that means anything. So, stay tuned. Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. My name is Eric, if you didn't already know it. And yes, this is the weekday, Monday through Friday. Today is Monday, August 11th of 2025. So, what do I mean by stress and something that we all deal with? It's a common occurrence. If you haven't been stressed, I want to know what kind of stuff you're taking or snorting or what have you, because most of us have got stress. And here's what I try to tell people, that they say, well, they do get good times. And then after they're stressful, and they feel better. Well, not necessarily. Because what I found over the years, and I've got 62 of them on me, is that good stress is just as bad as bad stress if it's for a prolonged period. And if you're sitting there stressing about everything, it starts off something small, right? And then you get that stressful thing. And then the next, and the next, and the next. And next thing you know, it's snowballing out of control. And you're ready to pull your hair out. And then you fall over. Let's figure out a way to stop the snowball effect to where you pull your hair out and fall over, right? The biggest thing that you have to understand is the time we have here on Earth is short. It is. Most of us are looking way down, right? We're saying that we're going to do all these things that we want to do when. And for many people, that when never comes. And then for other people, that when you get there, you still don't have time. Or you're physically not able to do it anymore. So, what's the better deal? What's the better plan? And what's the better outcome in all of it? And that is managing your stress and your stress levels on a daily basis, on an hourly basis if you have to. And there's a couple things that I do in my own to keep my stress levels down. Is I look at it. Because you have to break it apart. If you look at it as a whole, you can't identify it because you have all these stressors, right? But if we can break it down, and even a pen and paper, I know it's old school, but you can use your keyboard and Word document or notepad and start jotting down things that are causing you stress. Now, once you have those written down, that's half the equation is just being able to identify them. So let's say you're looking at it and you got less income coming in than you got going out. That's a stressor, right? You can do one of two things. You can either let it stress you to death, or you can figure out ways to increase income or decrease what's going out. It's as simple as that. But if you don't sit down and identify it as that is my issue, then what ends up happening is you do nothing. You continue in the same thing. And, what do they say? You can't beat a dead horse? Exactly. Because if you are in a business situation and you're the owner and you're running in the red most of the time, something has to change or you need to get out. It's called the writing on the wall. And if you're unwilling to adapt and change, you will get left behind. And then you will be wondering what the heck happened. Something that had worked for the past 30 years no longer works. And the answer is yes, it no longer works because things have changed the dynamics have changed and how we do business has changed, if that makes any sense. I mean, what you could do 20 years ago and make a living at, you can't now. And we're in small engine repair, right? And tractor repair. The jobs that we were doing 10, 15 years ago are not there right now. We're not doing engine rebuilds because people just want to throw a new engine on it. Or bulk of them, just junk them and go get a new one. And I call it the throwaway generation. So they have less need for us as mechanics and more need for somebody that's willing to do just the service work on it. Change the oil, check the belts, make sure the blades are sharp, to get it going for the season. So that changes the dynamics of what you're trying to offer, right? If you're still hooked on trying to offer, engine rebuilds and, stuff that is labor intensive, then you're going to be sitting there scratching your head wondering why the work isn't there. It's because the dynamics have changed once again. And if you live old enough, you're going to see those dynamics change numerous times, right? When we first started in the small engine repair and I got the online side of it with the parts business, we were making money hand over fist. But if I tried the same thing today, it's not going to work because the dynamics have changed. We have cheap Chinese parts on the market. We have people that are buying in bulk, sometimes container loads of cheap Chinese crap, and selling it here in the U.S. that have no quality control, but even those guys are struggling right now because the Chinese are even undercutting them because they're just trying to get rid of product. That's what I'm trying to say when I say that you can't continue doing the same thing every day and expect a different result. And it's not going to happen. You as an individual have to be able to recognize, okay, this is what's being stressful to me right now. What can I do about it? And that's how I approach things, is I try to break it down into parts. And then I look at it individually and I say, is there anything I can do about it right now? And if the answer is yes, do it. If the answer is no, then stop worrying about it. Just put it off to one side. Go to the next. Go to the next. Some people are socialites, all right? I'm not. I tend to be more of a recluse. I mean, I love people and stuff like that. But most of the stuff that I do by myself. Like yesterday I went fishing. My kids don't like that because they think that they should coddle me and do everything for me, which is just the opposite of what I need. I need to be able to do whatever it is I want to do. And I take it with Greg with Upstate Medical, my cardiac team. Because I asked him, I said, Greg, what can I do? And he said, the best advice I can give you, Eric, is do it whatever you want until it hurts and then stop. Do whatever you want until it hurts and stop. And I've lived by that since leaving Upstate. And a lot of people, 8 months out that have had open heart surgery are still trying to get their legs underneath them. And I'm walking 2 miles a day, or I have been until this smoke started coming in from Canada. Thank you, Canada. No. So you need to break it down into manageable pieces and then look at each one of them and say, is there anything I can do about this today? And if there is, do it. If not, table it until you can do something about it. Because there's no sense of worrying about something that you have no control over or you have no way of doing anything about it this minute. I know, it's hard not to worry about crap. Some people are worrywarts where they worry about everything all the time. Like the end of the world, and I don't have time for it. I don't. I stay pretty busy, and, as God says, a busy mind, a busy body, you have less things to complain about and worry about because you're too busy doing other things. So how can we manage stress without drinking and doing drugs? I mean, what else is there to say, right? Finding your quiet space. That is so instrumental. And I'm not saying try to find a quiet room where there's no noise and sit there in the corner just bouncing your head, you know. I'm talking about looking at things that fill you up and re-energize you instead of being draining on you. And this could be talking to somebody on the phone, giving somebody a call that helps fill your cup instead of draining you. You have a lot of friends that will help fill that cup just like you do to them. So, and then hanging around people that fill that cup up instead of sucking you dry. And we all have people in our lives that suck us dry. That no matter what, they just won't let up. They just keep wanting more and more and more. And the more you give them, the more they want. Rule 1 is do unto others as you would hope they would do unto you. You're not there to solve the world's problems. Solve your own problems and let the world figure it out on their own. That's a key point right there. Is you can't be worried about stuff that you have no control over. Politics, certain laws or this or that. You have to know when to take a step back and get a breather. So your quiet space could be sitting in a boat, fishing in the morning with your son and grandson like I did Saturday morning. Caught some nice bass and crappie, and we do catch and release. We used to keep what we wanted for that dinner that night, but I'm not much of a fish eater, and the boys didn't want to screw around with cleaning fish, so I said, then let them go. Don't put them into the cooler, put them right back in the water. But going out for that 3.5, 4 hours, and it seemed like it was only like 20 minutes, filled my cup up. Or most of the way. And I'm like, wow, that felt good. So yesterday morning, because I knew that everybody else was going to be busy, I hooked the boat back up and I went back over by myself and did some fishing. My kids would be screaming right now because they seem to think that one of them or another adult should be there in case I have a heart attack in the boat. Like, if I have a heart attack in the boat, I'm going to be dead before you get me to the shore anyway, so I might as well enjoy it. The same thing, my other quiet space is we have a piece of property up at the base of Whiteface Mountain, and it's on a man-made dammed reservoir, and that has always been my quiet place, and I haven't been there in probably 10, 12 years. And I had made plans because I wanted to go up for the weekend. I wanted to go up for like Saturday, Sunday, and come back on Monday. Because I knew I had cardiac rehab on Tuesday. But my brother-in-law that manages the camp up there and kind of oversees it, went to my sister and said that he felt uncomfortable. Like what was going to happen if I had a heart attack back in the woods 7 miles, and that my sister would never forgive him if I had a heart attack back in there. Meanwhile, I'm looking at him and I'm saying there's more of a chance for you to have a heart attack than there is me. He weighs twice as much as I do. I know he isn't eating healthy. And I've already had my plumbing plumbed. He hasn't. So who's going to carry whose ass out when they have a heart attack? I'll be the one carrying. I guarantee it. But it got so complicated that I finally had to say, you know what? It's not worth it. It's taking it from my quiet space to a complicated crapola. And that's what you have to bear in mind when you're looking at stuff and doing stuff. how complicated is it? If it's uncomplicated, that's the best type to fill that cup and reduce that stress load. If it's so complicated that you got to jump through all these hoops and everything, and you're tired out by the time you get done with it, or you go there and you're not getting that cup filled anymore because now there's all these things in place that have made it complicated. They came up with a resolution of, let's come up, why don't you just come up Monday and Tuesday? My sister said she could be there. She's an LPN. What difference is it going to make whether she's there or not? None. I used to go up there every weekend back in my late teens into my 20s. I'd go up, and the only way you could get to it back then was by boat. So I'd go across with the boat, and you always knew if you had somebody coming to visit you because you could hear the boat coming. And I would go up there and just sit. I sit out in front of camp, out on the water, and we still had the big hemlocks for shade, and just occasional motorboat going by. But other than that, it's quiet. And it's great fishing, nice walleye fishing, northern pike, perch. But I even explained to them, it wasn't about the fishing. It was just about going up and just kicking back and relaxing. That was it. I'm still going to try to hook up with him later this year, hopefully. But you really have to look at, when you're going to do something, how complicated is it? How many hoops do you need to jump through in order to do it? It's kind of like camping. My sister and brother-in-law, my other sister, they invited me over because they were what they call Coles Creek, which is a park around in St. Lawrence. And they go there every year for a week. And even my brother-in-law's brother goes, and cousin is there, but the whole Peary tribe is there. But they invited me over to just hang out with them for a little while. And my son and future daughter-in-law with their two boys went as well. That's their outlet, where they go over and it was laid back, no agenda, no list of things that you want to get done. They were just enjoying being by the water. They could go swimming whenever they wanted. They could go kayaking whenever they wanted. They were enjoying life. That's the difference. That's their fill this cup back up. And there's no hoops that you got to jump through. But if you sit there and you stress the whole time trying to get your camper loaded and get it to the park and get it set up, and you still don't get any chance to relax because you're busy trying to do something or entertain people, it's not filling your cup. It's not. So, as you go into today's workday, Monday, take a look at your stressors and try to identify which ones can I do something about it today. If not, stop worrying about it. It's not going to change the outcome one way or the other, right? How many times, and I do this a lot, how many times have you sat there and stressed, and then it never materialized and never turned out to be anything? And then you were pissed because you wasted all that time stressing about it. That's what I'm trying to get you not to do. If there's nothing you can do about it today or this minute, move on. Go to the next. Go to the next. And pretty quick, you're going to have that whole slate cleared. You're either going to have things accomplished that you can do about, and you've tabled the others that you can't do. And you're going to enjoy this day no matter what. That's the way to handle your stress. If certain people cause a lot of stress around you, don't hang out with them. If it's your spouse, you may want to look at maybe divorce. No, our spouses drive us crazy, but they also fill our cups. No, you only get to go around once. That's what I'm trying to get at. And I've been given a new lease on life. And I have a whole different perspective about life than I did 10 months ago. Actually, yeah, because my surgery was 8 months ago. I'm looking forward to doing a lot of things, and instead of thinking about doing them, I go do it. Like yesterday, I was sitting here in the morning, I was going to do a video and do a post on Facebook, and then I got to thinking, you know what? I had a lot of fun fishing. I'm going to go fishing this morning. So, what did I do? I got in the truck, went down to the shop, hooked the boat up, and I went fishing. All by myself. I got the boat unloaded. I got it loaded back up at the end. I spent 3.5 hours over there fishing. I caught some nice bass. Caught a walleye. Not very big. Probably about that big. But instead of saying you're going to do these great things and stuff that would fill your cup, do it. Quit saying it. Just go do it. And you're going to tell me, well, I don't have time, Eric. Bullcrap. You're right. You don't have time because the clock is ticking, and you're either going to run the clock out and not do what you want to do and end up, 6 foot under, or you're going to get to the age where you can't do it, or something's going to happen. You could have a stroke, heart attack. I know I'm not supposed to be doing a lot of stuff, but I am. And all my doctors are amazed of how well I'm doing at this stage of the game and not having a lot of side effects. It's because I'm staying active. I've got a positive attitude about most things that I do. Do I have stressors? Yes. We all have stressors. Right now, I'm trying to figure out what the best plan is for my wife, whether to have her put into a nursing home that we probably can't afford, or to bring her back home where I can't really take care of her because of the mental and the physical now of her breaking down. We all have stressors, but the key today is minimize them. And if you can minimize a lot of them that you can't do anything about right this minute, then you can focus on the stuff that you can do something about. So on that note, you guys have a great Monday, and we'll catch you here bright and early for another day of the weekday. If you guys have topics you want me to talk about, speak up. Like you, Mark, you were really good there for a while of bringing great topics. Because if not, you're going to be stuck with whatever I decide to make it a topic, and it could suck royally, right? You guys have a great Monday, and thanks again so much for watching.